Brian Etheridge, Sick'em 365, coming to you for the 10 things post-game after this disappointing 24-23 loss to Texas Tech. Number one, give the ball to the power back on 4th and 1. Quit getting cute with it, and just give it to Quaylen Jones. Jalen Petrie, had a great game again. Several things did, obviously, back-to-back, pick sixes. It's but weird things happen in Lubbock, and Petrie should have had a sack and a safety, but it didn't happen and it wasn't called. That's a little interesting. Quaylen Jones, was looking strong in his first start. Then went away from him a little bit. Maybe got a little tired after 21 carries. Not real sure. But the defense was swarming to the ball in the first half and with some violence. That was good to see. The Garmin Randolph had his first career sack. That's another good thing. He's been lost a little bit, but he's 6'7", 265 pounds, redshirt freshman. So it's good to see him get in the game, get a sack. Charlie Brewer, threw a horrible interception there. It turned the momentum of the game. It was 23-12. The ball was high and behind R.J. Sneed, just where you can't put the ball, and you had to put it toward the sideline. Didn't happen. Tech took momentum at that point. And of course came back and won, scored a touchdown on that series to make it 23-18. Oh, Drake Dabney, one block. Just one block. Now your quarterback's going viral for the hit he took at the goal line. One block. I don't know what was going through your head there, but, you're a freshman. It'll come out, and you'll get better. Coach Stewart, took a wide pass off the leg there. It looked like he's in a little bit of pain, so I feel you, Coach. Had that happen, not enjoyable. The offensive line got a little bit cheap calls on two of the calls on the last drive there. Per the announcers on the Fox broadcast, one of them I thought was a little cheap. The other one, I'll give them that one. Turned into a battle of field goal kickers, but also I'm not sure what the offense was doing there on the pass, going for the juggler instead of running more time there on that 3rd and 5 when they could have gone for it again on 4th down if they wanted to, but kept the clock moving or made Texas Tech use their timeouts instead. You saw what happened. But the defense got gassed there, but needed to make a play. Didn't do it. Final 23-24. Texas Tech the victor. So turn it over to our man J.D. Piquel and Drake Toll on the call-in show, 254-339-1122.
This is the Sick'em 365 Radio Richard Carr Buick GMC Cadillac postgame show.
Here comes the blitz. Brewer well protected. One-on-one in the end zone. R.J. Sneed. He's got it for a Baylor touchdown.
Here's Drake Toll and J.D. Piquel.
And we are live from the Texas Farm Bureau Insurance Broadcast Center on the Sick'em 365 Radio Muscle-Wise postgame show. I'm Drake Toll alongside former Baylor football player J.D. Piquel. Recapping Baylor's loss to Texas Tech 24-23 by the slimmest of margins in Lubbock. We're live, the phone lines are open, and your calls are coming in on Central Texas' #1 collar-driven digital sports show. You can join in the action by calling or texting 254-339-1122. JD, it happened again, and Armstrong, cue it up.
I am having a very bad day.
How? How does this keep happening? We're in the same position we've been in the last 5 weeks.
Let it never be said a Baylor fan didn't get their money's worth at a game, because they have been in all of these games and it's gone down to the wire. But, yeah, yet again, Baylor comes up short. I mean, I'm shrugging my shoulders right now, Baylor Nation. I don't know. I don't think anybody knows. The staff sure doesn't know, so we're just going to go ahead and get to the phone lines because that's where all the experts are at.
I am having a very bad day.
One more.
I am having a very bad day.
Richard from San Antonio, you're on with Sick'em 365 Radio. Richard.
Hey, JD, Drake, how's it going?
It's going.
Yeah, it's, I do like that sound bar of Stephen A. I thought it was just, another here we go again.
Don't encourage this.
It's just, I don't know what it's just another offensively bad game. Yards per drive is still, against a bad Tech defense, you think it would have done a lot better. And, Charlie was he was good on the ground. That's about it. And, it was just going into that and Tech's last drive, you just have a feeling that Gameday was going to be set up to hit the game-winning field goal. As someone said on Twitter, that was the you felt it coming. His family's in the crowd, all that stuff, and sure enough, he hits the game winner, and his defense just crumbled on the last drive, and I'm just sitting here shocked. It was, it really was a butt game, and I don't know where. I feel like there's nothing to build on for the rest of the season. Just
ouch.
I don't know, try and beat Kansas State, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's what you have to do. All right, so I'm the optimist obviously here, but I'm also going to go ahead and be a realist and say 4 yards to carry for Quaylon Jones. That's a good sign. Offense, you didn't get the output you wanted, but 4 yards from your running back and 21 carries. Thank goodness. Thank you, Baylor offense, for finally putting the ball on the ground and taking some pressure off Charlie. And it was a much better showing offensively in terms of the direction. Again, points, you're not getting what you need points-wise. So, again, shrugging my shoulders, but I like that we ran the ball more. That's my takeaway. That's my positive takeaway. There's a lot of other negative takeaways, but I'm going to go ahead and start off with that. 207
yards on the ground today for the Bears. 153
awesome.
Through the air. Not so awesome. Texas Tech, 257 through the air, 124 on the ground. Pretty balanced day for the Red Raiders. Quaylon Jones, like you said, 21 carries, 86 yards. One of those guys, just like Squirrel Williams, that comes in that you're not really privy to and makes a showing in what could be called his really standout debut, where he's playing legitimate minutes in a conference game, and he did a great job. He held his own. But Baylor's offense only put up 16 points today. Jalen Petrie was a third of your offense. Yeah. Again, Jalen Petrie, yeah. I think I tweeted that today. Jalen Petrie needs to be on the offensive coaching staff for Baylor at this point because the man's generating points at a more efficient rate than BU's offense can. We've got Jack Wheeler, calls in every week. Jack, a regular, you're on again with Sikkim 365 Radio.
Well, Drake, JD, we didn't pull it off like we
Here
hoped
we are
we would,
again.
Yeah.
I just, I hate being that person that I always defend Charlie, and while he plays, I always will, but I can't stay on the wagon anymore, and it kills me because of what he did for the last 3 years. But other than that, the offensive coaching staff has got to figure out something. If for whatever reason why you're not changing the quarterback, you need to be running the ball more because the O-line is looking a lot better. And also, I never realized that pancaking someone was considered horrible.
That was a bad call. That was a very bad call.
To those refs, apparently that's the same. And one last note before I end the call. I'm a huge fan of Dylan Doyle, DD all day. The guy can read play so well, gets in on that tackle every single time. So that's all I got, boys. Let me hear it.
Yeah. My patience for Charlie's growing thin. 65% of his passes today, good. 153 through the air, not so good. One pick, not so good.
Not good. No touchdowns.
No touchdowns. Good showing on the ground. He's an athlete. He made plays that Zeno and Bohannon won't make for you, so let's make sure that's out there. That's the thing. Is there a better option on Baylor's team? For the long haul, for the duration of the season, we've both pretty much agreed probably not. But at this point, is it do you give them a try? Are we getting to the point where it's what do you have to lose? Do you put Zeno in? Do you put Gary in? Again, there's not a better option on the team, but do you give them a shot? That's not my call, but I'm open to it at this point.
Houston Baptist scored 33 points against Texas Tech. Baylor scored 23. 7 of those came from Jalen Petrie. We've got Steven from Virginia. Steven, another regular, Sikkim 365 Radio.
Hey guys, I'm kind of in shock actually. In sports, I really feel like you can watch your death in slow motion.
That's dark.
But I really wanted to say that this is the ceiling of a Charlie Brewer and Larry Fedora offense. We've seen it. His close losses. And I don't know, I'm not going to say it falls on Charlie because I think Charlie's the best quarterback we've got. I think if we had anybody better, we've talked about this before, someone else would be in.
Right.
But the defense has to be feeling really upset because I got to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah.
In the history of Baylor and Texas Tech, if you hold Texas Tech to 24 points, you should win that football game.
100%.
And the other thing is, I was watching last week after the loss, I watched Moneyball. And in Moneyball, the Oakland A's are losing at the beginning.
Yes.
And the GM says to the manager, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? You're not coaching the way I manage this team to be. and he says, I'm coaching for a way that will get me a job next season. And I almost am starting to feel that way about Larry Fedora. Because
wait, does he want a job at like a local high school as an assistant offensive coordinator, or what are we shooting for then?
About if he wants to go to Southern Miss, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. And so when Charlie runs as much as he does, that's kind of what I think. I know Charlie is great at doing that, but we really need to find another way to move the football.
My only takeaway is, or my only, objection to that is I think Charlie plays better when he's able to run the ball a little more. Once he gets hit a little more, he gets more into the flow of the game. And that's a real thing for some guys. You got to have some contact to be able to settle into the game, because you see Charlie, he's going a million miles an hour all of the time. So for him to get a hit and to have that run game complement his pass game, maybe gets him into a little more of a rhythm. But again, you're throwing for 153 yards, no touchdowns, 1 pick. So how much of rhythm were you really in? I don't know.
Stephen, thanks so much for your call, as always. I think you make some very good points there. If Larry Fedora is coaching for his next job, well, where do you want that job to be? Because nobody in Division I football is saying, oh, hey, yeah, come on. You bring that Baylor offense that put up 16 points against Texas Tech over. If this was 2015 and Baylor puts up 23 points, Tech's rolling you 70-23. And I think you hit the nail on the head, Stephen. If Baylor's defense is only giving up 24 points at Texas Tech, why in the world is Baylor not winning that game? With that, we go to D.C. D.C., you're on Sikkim 365 Radio.
What a joke today, guys. What a complete,
I'll retweet that.
Utter offensive joke. Can you believe this?
I can't.
Did y'all see this game?
I wish I wouldn't have.
I was watching it, yes.
Unbelievable. There's no reason. I don't get it. I mean, no wonder Gary opted out today. I would opt out too, the way this freaking offense is playing, knowing that I'm playing better than Charlie in practice and everything. And you're going to not play me? Okay, let's just keep doing the same thing over and over and over, and I'm sure it's going to work out. Larry, Dave, with your horrible clock management, it's a freaking joke. In 2008, we had a bunch of no-name players that went on to score at least 40 points a game. All right. And then we have way more talent, way more players. You play like this. It's on the coaches, it's on Charlie, it's on everybody. It's a damn joke. It's a damn joke. Good night.
On behalf of DC, who just called in, Armstrong?
I am having a very bad day.
I think that sums up that call pretty well, and I would say that most Baylor fans probably agree with you. You fight tooth and nail for this team. Baylor faithful, it's such a tight-knit community of people that want to support a football program that plays 100%, does things the right way, and shows on the field that they can win ball games in a way that's respectful to all of college football. It's respectful to the game, but what you're not seeing is that passion, that drive, or wins in the win column. We've got Jackson Tucker from Eugene, Oregon. Jackson, you're on with Sikkim 365 Radio.
How's it going today, Drake and JD? I'd just like to say that I really think that there's something going on here.
In what
any more?
sense?
Yeah, any more thoughts
in what
there?
sense? There's a lot going on.
Yeah, quite frankly, I believe that maybe we need to figure something out here, because honestly, I know you said, maybe Charlie Brewer is probably the best option, but quite frankly, maybe it's time to take a chance on one of the other guys, maybe like an outsider, because quite frankly, from what I'm seeing, it's not exactly the best thing I've ever seen before, and maybe it's time to shake things up and just see what happens, quite frankly.
I have never once spoken ill of Charlie in terms of should he not be the starter. That's never once been my game. That's never will be my game, because I truly believe he is the best quarterback on this roster. Having said that, if it is in the best interest of this team to try someone else at this point in time, then go for it. But I don't know that you have a better player on your roster than Charlie. But if it's a matter of, hey, this season is, if you were to put in a different quarterback at this point, you're kind of waving the white flag. I think you're kind of saying, hey, let's try and savor the rest of this season, because there's nobody better on your roster than Charlie Brewer, whether you like it or not.
I tweeted it, shameless plug. Can you rent a 2019 Charlie Brewer and just throw him out there, but just more specifically the Charlie Brewer that comes out when you're trailing by one score with 2 minutes left in the game?
I might have retweeted. I might have liked that tweet, actually.
How great would it be if you could rent quarterbacks? But I tell you, you talked about bringing an outsider in. How about Kyron Drones? Somebody that played really well at the Elite 11. He might just be
He's gonna be a dog
on Baylor's campus pretty soon.
He's going to be a dog.
We've got Jim from Philadelphia. Jim, talk to us. You're on Sikkim 365 Radio.
Yeah, so I'm not here to toe any sort of line about, what the coaches are going to do, what the players are going to do.
Yeah.
But I do agree with JD about, maybe shaking it up, bringing in another player, and about waving the white flag. I mean, what white flag is there to wave? We're 3-4 now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a weird year already. Why not get guys like Zeno and like Bohannon some experience? I know Bohannon may have opted out, but why not get them in there? Get them some reps.
I will say
is already going better than I had anticipated.
Oh,
we have to think back to the first year of Matt Rule. Like we went 1-11.
Huh.
That's
a weird
true.
year. Didn't get spring ball, so let's give them a chance.
Now, Jim, you were there for that 1-11 season. Does it feel like things are the same right now? Is it the same aura?
I like the aura. I think, new coaching staff, there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes, probably even more so given the pandemic.
Yeah.
So I would just encourage people, be patient. Let's see how this plays out.
Jim, thanks so much for your call. Always great to have you on. And I got to say, Baylor right now is tanking for Trevor Lawrence, and I got bad news for him. He's already taken by the Jets.
Stop.
Bob is calling in. Bob, wondering how we move on from here. You're on with Sikkim 365 Radio.
Ohio.
Hey, JD. Nice to hear you, man. I just don't know where we go from here. I need a little bit of hope. I don't know if I trust Charlie Brewer. We were friends in college, and I just need to know where I go from here.
Wow. Do you trust him, like, personally, from a friend standpoint at least?
No, so Bob is actually a friend of mine from college, actually.
Oh, a friend of yours. So
Bob is a Cornell man.
Wow.
Yep, all the way from Ohio. So, Bob, I'm going to tell you this. If you were to be rooting for Baylor, I know you are big into the probability game in terms of winning money from different teams' successes, to put it politely.
That just gave it away really plainly.
So what I will say is, if you were to place money on a Baylor team, it would be the 2021 version, because this is just something that's going to take a little longer than I think any of us wanted it to take. It shouldn't take this long because they were a 10-win team a year ago, and the same quarterback's there. A lot of the same skill players are there. You lost Denzel Mims. He's a beast, but he's gone, so your safety blanket's gone in Denzel Mims. But all that's to say, it's going to take a little longer than we thought, so maybe put the money somewhere else for the time being.
I was tuned in today. I was hopeful. I was tuned in today.
So was I, Bob. So was I, but here I am doing this show, and they lost, Bob.
I wasn't hopeful at all. Bob, thanks so much for your call from Ohio.
You go to the school.
I'll tell you what is Baylor's outlook from here? I'll tell you what you can pour, Armstrong.
Give me a drink, bartender.
That's the best I've got. That's the best.
A drink, bartender.
I don't know what it's from, but I love it. I'm glad we have it queued up.
Where did we find that? Where did you find that?
Somewhere in the doldrums of social media, because that's all that I had to do during whatever that was on the TV here in studio. I just boring game.
What do you mean it was boring? They won by 1 point.
Yeah, but I didn't have a lot of fun watching
game?
that. I really didn't have a lot of fun.
Baylor was up the majority of the game. You go to Baylor. How did you not enjoy that game?
At one point, the score was 23-12. That was some of the ugliest football. Tech made 4 field goals with some guy who I don't know what the story was, but it's like,
his family was there.
I think it's super confused where this guy came from, and it was like today was the big day where, hey, maybe he's going to do really well, and he did.
He had a visor and long sleeves.
It was very much like hey, here's this success story for some random kicker from who knows where, and he's going to have a big day. Congrats to that guy, but for me, the game wasn't very fun to watch, so I did find that soundbite that sounds like Armstrong.
Give me a drink, bartender.
That's so good. Michael, you're on with Sikkim 365 Radio.
Hey, guys. I'm just leaving some urban bar here in Dallas. It was a bunch of Raider fans everywhere. I'm sure the rash was percolating in the air, but it was just very disappointing to, just kind of be a lonely guy in the bar, just to see everyone cheering. And it's such a lowly game to lose as well. I have a very simple question for you. The up-tempo offense, it seemed to have worked at times. Do we need to continue to try to push the envelope with that?
Michael, thanks for your call and thanks for your question. Thanks for also sticking it out in the bar in Dallas with a bunch of Tech fans, because not the liveliest crowd. JD, what do you think from a tempo standpoint?
Well, I think Baylor is not an explosive offense, so let's start there.
That's very true.
Which is
especially on your fourth-string running back, who's 240 pounds.
He's good. Which is
very,
very, very good.
Very good.
So I will say this: Baylor needs to find ways to level the playing field, whether it's tempo, whether it's finding a power run game that's complementary to them, which they did some today. But they're not going to be a team that has 3 play drives, 80 yards, and a touchdown with 30 seconds off the clock. So if it's the up-tempo game, if it's different formations that they haven't seen, any of the silver bullets you have in your chamber, Baylor, empty them now because I'm not pressing the panic button, but my hand is right over it. I'm just like hovering. I'm not ready to press it yet, but you got to level the playing field somehow. So I would say, yeah.
If you're close to the panic button, I've got bad news because Baylor's not winning another football game.
Okay.
So if you want to hit the panic button now, you can.
I don't understand.
But I hope that doesn't translate to 2021.
You go to Baylor. Why are you? It's like you're rooting.
Don't attack me for my take that's super realistic and actual.
They were favored today.
Oh, and should they have been? They weren't favored in my book.
They were favored today.
And look what happened. I'm
just saying,
you know what?
I'm not ready to mail in the rest of the season after a 1-point loss to Texas Tech.
No, I'm ready to mail it in after going 1-5.
Touchdown loss. Okay, well, I mean, you can mail it in if you want, but I do think that there is a lot of game to be played, and I don't understand the take of like, let's just call the rest of the season because it's just so much can happen in a month time. Like,
yeah, Baylor can finish 4-5, under 500 still. Congrats, moral victory. Woo woo! We've got.
Whoa, where did you get moral victory from there?
Just 4-5 would be a moral victory because there's nothing else tangible that comes from 4-5. Then hey, we won
three real victories.
That's true.
Awesome.
Or what is real? It's a
phenomenal.
COVID year. We only pick what's real if we want it to be real. Like, the Kansas win's real, but the rest of the season's COVID.
That's so true.
I mean,
that's so true.
We got Dave. Dave calling from Houston. You're on with Sikkim 365 Radio, Dave.
Hello?
Hey, we got you.
Hey, how are y'all doing today?
Doing well. How are you?
Dude, I'm not good.
I was doing better before I watched that collapse today. I just don't. To me, it's just like we have nothing. The season is over with. Mail in the check. We've lost. I don't see us winning another game. Tech was going to put us at 2 wins for the season, and that was it. We managed to lose that today. So I just don't understand why we aren't progressing into. My question going forth is, what's up with the coaching staff? What's up with Larry? What's up with Dave? Why haven't we made a switch? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Wait a second, Dave. Are you telling me that Baylor's not going to beat Kansas State or Oklahoma State?
I would agree with that, yes. We're not winning another game this year. So if
Dave.
we have nothing to lose, why don't we let Zeno get some reps?
Dave,
Chiron is going to save us, hopefully. But that's my concern is we keep doing this and we start losing out on quality recruits, then it's going to be like, it's going to be like 2005 again. That's unacceptable.
Dude, this is...
Dave, thanks so much for your call. And here's where I'm going to disagree with you, just ever so slightly, because I think you're on to something. And we've got T-Rex on the line alongside Mac and Ralph. You guys hold on tight with us. Dave, here's the deal, okay? Baylor right now, if your guy is Charlie Brewer for 3 years, what does it say to a recruit that your quarterback, a career quarterback, Mr. Baylor, can have struggles and you sit him for someone who has 3 years left of eligibility in his career? You're a recruit that wants to go to Baylor, that wants to be Mr. Baylor, and then you see the way this program, a new coaching staff, treats Mr. Baylor by benching him.
Yeah.
His senior year, a year where, hey, try to fight the adversity, try to get Baylor back, try to make this season the best it can be, and now he's benched. From that perspective, I think you may even hurt recruiting if you do bench Charlie Brewer, because it just shows a lack of loyalty to someone that got you to 11-1 last season. I agree. Charlie Brewer's not playing very good football at all right now, not whatsoever.
Yep.
But he's still got the, again, Mr. Baylor title. Throw Zeno out there every now and then. Throw Bohannon, which we can't now, but throw Shapen, whatever you want to do. At the same time, Charlie Brewer's got to get his due, and he may be back to do it again next year.
Can I add something really quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
So here I'm going to go ahead and I'm beating a dead horse, and I'm sorry I attacked you for going to Baylor. It's not fair of me.
That was kind of mean.
I'm sorry.
On air.
That's not who I want to be, but I'm going to go ahead and say this. You and I have talked a lot about, hey, you got the keys to the Nissan Maxima. It still runs. You had 10 wins a year ago. So my biggest issue with making the take that we're not going to win the rest of the year, or Baylor's not going to win the rest of the year.
Right.
How do you have a 2016 Nissan Maxima and then assume that it's not going to run the rest of the year if you were to correct some of the parts? That's all I'll say. I know I'm going to be in the minority there, and that's okay, but because I'm still holding out here, baby.
Baylor has a Nissan Maxima, but Kansas State has a Ford F-150 from 2018. And Oklahoma, they've got the new Mercedes. And Oklahoma State has a new Tesla. That's why. And Baylor's broken down 2016 Nissan Maxima. Doesn't have a very good driver. That being on the offensive end, because things are maybe, and you can't fix the engine because the auto parts store is closed due to COVID. We got Travis Carver. T-Rex is on with us. Then Mac and Ralph. Mac and Ralph, we're going to hold you guys to after the break. Please do hold on for Sikkim 365 Radio. But taking it into the break, T-Rex, who is in Lubbock today, you're on with the Muscle Wise postgame show.
Hey, first off, thanks for using my full name on the net. You know, man, it's a secure comm net, man. No names, all right? I'm the team behind enemy lines.
Oh, yes,
anyway,
that's right.
Thanks a lot. That's not my real name, I promise. Anyways, I got a couple points. So I haven't been listening to the whole thing, so I'm just going to jump in where I picked up a little post game.
Take a dive.
I'm just now got outside the stadium.
Water's fine.
In regards to the quarterback, and maybe I misunderstood the comment about you don't sit your quarterback who's been the career quarterback, this and that.
Yeah.
Hey, I know we're not Alabama, but Nick Saban had a quarterback take him to the national championship, and he set him down on the bench. So if Nick Saban's willing to do it, why the hell can't the 1-5 Baylor Bears do it? That's what I got to say about the quarterback situation.
Okay.
That's all I got to say about that one. Anyways, also the Nissan, that's a terrible car. Bad analogy. Third off.
Not a very good football team either, so I think the Nissan will be just fine there.
Pick a better car next time.
Pick a better team.
Next subject.
I have a Jetta.
We can win more games, and that's a big key word in all caps. Can with italicized and quotation marks and asterisks and everything around it. I mean, we could have won every game this year, but cans don't matter. And if we play like this, and we play like we did last week, where we just crap the bed in the third quarter, and we don't do whatever it is that gets us to win the game, then we won't win another game. So I don't think that it's impossible to win another game, but if we keep playing like this, and it's the end of the season, the season's getting over, it's the latter half of the season, you should be getting better. We ain't getting better, in my opinion. So who knows? Hopefully we don't get beat by bye week. They're undefeated. So,
Haven't lost. Never
hopefully
lost.
we can beat bye week.
Wow.
Anyway, last thing. I'm just mad. I don't know who to blame 100%, but I will say this. In the second half, after Charlie got hit when he should have scored a touchdown, he looked scared on the Jumbotron. When they zoom in on the quarterback, he looked scared. I don't know, maybe that's just my perspective. I want to be ride or die with him, but he looked scared. And our O-line played their hearts out and gave him all day long to throw that ball, all day. That one false start on the goal line should have even been a play, should have been a touchdown if Charlie just lowers his shoulder. So the game's not lost by the O-line. O-line picked it up. They've made up for what they did in the first half of the season. Charlie has to figure it out. Fedora has to figure it out. And Dave Aranda's got to stop being a little punk and get pissed off and huddle and yell at somebody. Because guess what? These are 20-year-olds who they don't respond to niceness. You got to get in their face and tell them they're playing like crap and they're playing like crap and celebrate when they do something good. In their face and yell at them. That's all I got to say.
You know what T-Rex is having?
I am having a very bad day.
Just like the rest of us.
I'll be more on board. So I think he said what I meant in a very articulate way. Basically, Baylor can win the rest of the way.
You said it in the articulate way, or T-Rex
he said it in a very articulate way.
I think so, too.
I think we're both pretty articulate. I'm going to say T-Rex is wicked smart, so I'm not going to mess with him.
Wicked smart.
Basically, what I'm saying is they can win the rest of the game. I would be more on board with the take that Baylor is probably going to lose out if there wasn't still great players on the roster. Like there's a lot still under that hood. I think have they accessed it yet? No. Are they going to access it yet? I sure hope so, but I think they can, and that's the biggest thing.
Hey, you know something that T-Rex is definitely going to say tonight?
Give me a drink, bartender.
That's why that's in there.
Is he 21?
That's why that's in there.
Is he 21?
All right, we got Mac on the line and Ralph. We got to take this to a break, but hold on. We're going to get you guys coming immediately off of the break. Kansas State, Oklahoma State up next for Baylor. I don't see a win in any of those, and maybe I'm a pessimist for saying that, but I italicize it, but I also put it in 1-point font. For Drake Toll and JD Piquel, we're going to take it to a break and be right back on the Muscle Wise postgame show on Sick'em 365 Radio.
Boots add protection. Good boots help you climb better and move forward faster. And when your son or daughter steps into the boots of a U.S. Army officer, they also learn how to lead. In these boots, they'll gain more confidence with expert training in one of more than 150 occupational specialties. In these boots, they'll stand a little taller and lead a team with diverse backgrounds and areas of expertise to successfully accomplish whatever challenge comes next. In these boots, they'll earn respect with valuable experience from day one that will give them solid footing for success into the future. Highly qualified candidates who earn a spot on our team can receive comprehensive health care coverage, college tuition assistance, and a bonus of up to $40,000. See all the things your son or daughter can achieve in our boots at GoArmy.com. U.S. Army Waco Recruiting Company, 254-598-8131 or 254-776-1543.
What season is it? It's truck season at Allen Samuels. Ram trucks are raring to go, ready to work and play, and all feature the best deals of the year during Ram Power Days. Come get your brand new Ram Lone Star at Allen Samuels with 0% for 72 and no payments for 90 days. Or choose up to $9,250 in bonus cash and incentives. Ram, the highest pickup owner loyalty in America. Shop, apply, buy online. We deliver. Ram Power Days at Allen Samuels.
From the first workout to the last practice, sports is an incredible challenge. Hi, this is Dan Ingham with the First National Bank of Central Texas, and we're proud to support each athlete, every parent, and our educators. From families, small businesses, to the biggest industry, we're here to help. With remarkable products like First Free Checking, we've got banking ideas that fuel big dreams. The First National Bank of Central Texas. Familiar faces making local decisions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be part of the Waco community. We're a small family business here in Central Texas. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important. And unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. And that's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through this difficult time. So if you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. You can schedule online in minutes at idealmri.com or call 833-IDEAL-MRI.
Hey, this is Bryce Petty, former starting quarterback and two-time Big 12 champion, and I know firsthand the importance of being in top shape both on and off the field. So listen up, men. If you're feeling beat down day in and day out and looking for that high-performance edge that separates the men from the boys, then look no further than the Petty Clinic Low T in Waco. Petty Clinic is a comprehensive men's healthcare clinic with an atmosphere catering to men. Board-certified Dr. Kent Petty has a special interest in offering the highest quality medical care to men of all ages. Some of the services offered include screening and treatment for low testosterone or thyroid, infertility, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, while offering comprehensive wellness exams and complete men's health lab panels. High performance men, remember, it's not just a Petty thing. This is Bryce Petty, encouraging you to reach out and Google search Petty Clinic Low T or go to pettycliniclowt.com and get your complimentary lab screening today.
In the market for a quality metal building? Since 1943, Pioneer Steel and Pipe has helped Central Texas residential and commercial customers with metal building design, panel options, building components, and trim options. Pioneer Steel and Pipe's residential line is energy efficient, offers low maintenance, reduces insurance payments, is impact resistant, and carries up to a 45-year limited warranty. In addition, they can also help you find a metal building contractor for your project. Pioneer Steel and Pipe with locations in Waco and Bryan and at pioneersboys.com.
And we're back in the Texas Farm Bureau Broadcast Center. You're with myself, Drake Toll, alongside Baylor football alum J.D. Piquel on Central Texas' #1 caller-driven digital radio hour, the Muscle-Wise postgame show on SicEm 365 Radio. Call us, text us, 254-339-1122. The Topo Chico is out, and you know what that means. We're in the second segment of our show, and we've got Ralph, who's held on the line for 11 minutes. Ralph, thanks so much for holding on, and now you're on with SicEm 365 Radio.
Yo, what's up? I got one question I want to throw to y'all, see what y'all saying, and I got something to say afterwards. That's cool.
Beautiful.
Y'all had mentioned earlier in the show, y'all had said basically like you want to get out there that Charlie Brewer made some plays tonight that Gary Bohannon nor Jacob Zeno would make.
Yes.
Actually, like how do we know that? Like based on what evidence do we have to make that confirmation?
Good question. I think for me, it's been eye test. Statistics for Zeno don't really match up for either. Don't really match up to what Brewer has right now. And obviously the sample sizes are really, really different there. But from an eye test standpoint, Zeno obviously can't run as well as Brewer can. Bohannon can, but I'm not sure that he could have done some of the, I don't think Bohannon can take hits like Charlie Brewer.
Even more so, you're not going to get that defense with either of those quarterbacks. For Bohannon, if he's running, if he's in the game, they know he's running. For Zeno, I don't think he's quite as much of a threat to run. So if that's first off, the set is going to be much different against either of those quarterbacks. Second off, Charlie Brewer, there's, I would say, maybe two other quarterbacks in the entire country that are going to stick their nose in there like Brewer will. No one runs as physical as him. Baylor fans kind of cringe when they see him lower his shoulder like that, but there's very few players that will get that set and have that attitude like him when running the football.
What else you got, Ralph?
Yeah, definitely agree with some of those points for sure. Just wanted to see, just because my whole point is the sample size, like you said, is very small. So I don't understand the argument where it's like, hey, we can't throw these guys out there. They don't have any experience. When you're sitting at 1-5, I think it's a perfect opportunity to give them that experience.
That's fair.
But again, the other thing I wanted to say was just like the point, and I'm paraphrasing here. That basically, like, the recruits would think badly if we bench Charlie Brewer because he's been such a guy, the guy here for so long.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't think that's the case. I think I don't think you're gonna show a lack of loyalty to those recruits, and even if you do, I think what matters most is the loyalty to winning. And when you're 1-5, I think what you're showing to a recruit is that you care more about winning than seniority. I think seniority is always a terrible argument in football.
Yeah.
And I think one of the best things about some of the best teams in the country is they're able to bench maybe a senior who has been good, but at the same time is not playing up to standards for a guy who's maybe a sophomore or a freshman, and give him a different look and see if he can add a spark to that offense. So that's personally, obviously, what I'd like to see us do. But also, I'm not going to be one of those guys just saying, like, if we throw a different quarterback out there, we're sitting at 6-0 looking pretty. I definitely don't think that's the truth. But I would like to see a different spark, and just think that some of these throws that we're making and just the play calling we're making seems like we're coddling a guy who doesn't have it anymore. But that's just my thought. And, again, super thankful for Charlie and what he's done for the program. But I do believe that when it's time to move on, you got to be able to make that call.
Yeah, I just have a hard time with the thought that he somehow doesn't have it anymore. I'm kind of struggling where that's coming from. I get the numbers are down, production's down, wins are down. All those things are, frankly, pretty obvious. So the thought that he somehow doesn't have it anymore, like he's past his time, like he's still, 24, 23, something like that? Like he's not
years old?
Yeah. Like what's the thought he doesn't have? Like where would that come from? All that's changed is the coaches changed, offense has changed, but Charlie hasn't changed.
Wear and tear, injuries.
From 2 years?
Whoa.
From 2 years of
We're
playing?
talking about Charlie Brewer.
Yeah.
Did you watch the last 3 or 4 games of last season?
With a freaking eagle eye.
Yeah. And you're questioning, like,
Doesn't
why
have,
I'm worried about Charlie Brewer's health?
No, okay, so I don't think my thought isn't, am I worried about his health? It's, am I worried about his ability to still play? And health, sure, like, you got to take care of your body. I'm with that. I'm on that train, like, hey, Charlie, let's slide a little more, buddy. But at the same time,
maybe he's not the same Charlie Brewer he was 2 years ago from a health standpoint.
But like,
he's taken a lot of big hits.
But what's changed around? Like, we're not looking at things that have changed around him. If you have a different offense, different coaching staff, like, I think those are all much more likely than he just doesn't have it anymore. Like, he didn't wake up and not have it.
I agree. So maybe then we turn our attention to the offensive line or the coaching staff or Charlie Brewer. We should just rename this Charlie Brewer Show. Yes, Armstrong?
Yeah, we got a call coming in from Stephen A. Smith. Let's see what he has to say.
I am having a very bad day.
I agree. He's a regular caller. I agree. He calls a lot.
We got a caller, you that random in Austin, ? Caller, you're on with Sigma 365 Radio.
Yeah, I mean, I look at two things. Is that I think, one, I love Charlie. I think he's a battler, but at the same point, you can see from last year to this year, he can't make the throws that he used to. He's missing a lot of throws. He's throwing behind a lot of the guys. Yeah. And, he just doesn't seem like he's fully there anymore. And to say that he's the best on the roster, I don't know, man. I'd give Bohannon or Zeno an opportunity. And granted, I think that Fedora at the same point is not calling great games. I mean, I think he's made us very one-dimensional and puts one receiver out there and gives Charlie one choice when we really probably should turn to Jorge Munoz and let him go at it. I mean, he's a brilliant mind, so let's let him have a try.
He was also
those are my points when I look at it.
Saying he can't make throws like he did last year, he also lost Denzel Mims, who has the catch radius of an absolute Olympian. Like, he was able to make throws and get away with stuff last year to Denzel Mims that he just can't this year. Also has no Tyquan Thornton. So I really struggle with the thought that, like, hey, Charlie doesn't have it anymore. I think other things have changed around him, which have not complemented him well.
Maybe he never had it, and Denzel just made him look good.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't think Charlie's changed a ton. I don't think he's gotten, like, less ability over the years. I struggle with that thought.
Right. But things definitely look a lot worse.
Things look worse, for sure.
Statistic standpoint,
for sure.
From every standpoint right now. Eye test, etc. Things don't look very good for Chuck Brewer. We got Mac. Mac, you called in earlier. Thanks for hanging on the line again. And then Steven right after him. And then John calling in about 87 Drake. But Mac, you're on with Sikkim 365 Radio.
Hey, yeah, guys, what's up? How are y'all?
Thanks for holding on the line, man.
Again, I'm not
That's
good.
so awesome.
I'm not doing good.
I'm doing fine. I expected this, but I guess I am bad for being a realist and expecting not to win because Baylor has not shown me that they can win, but moot point. Mac, what you got?
Yeah, I feel the same way y'all do. Craig Smoke tweeted, he said, Aranda said during press conference, we need to put the focus where the focus needs to be and get better. I don't think it's on the young guys and the running backs in the running back room. I don't think it's on the defense who scored just as much points as our offense today.
Thank you.
I don't think it's on our kicker. We gave him a harsh time for kicking 45 and 48-yard field goals, which he missed, but he got the job done today, and that's all we can ask from him. But I think it comes back on Fedora and Charlie and beating that dead horse, right?
Yeah.
But Charlie did a great job last year. He had that clutch gene. He took us down in late games, and we won the game because of him. So when did he lose that clutch gene, and when is the time to throw another guy in there? Just give him a shot,
Yeah, I don't know if he lost the clutch gene necessarily, and thanks so much again for your call, Mac. Maybe he... Okay, think back to last year. Was it Charlie Brewer, was he the sole person with that clutch gene on the Baylor offense? Is he what just made it work late? And I think you make a good point. What's so different this year that Baylor's in the exact same games they were last season, but losing them instead of winning?
Yeah. Well, I think I really place a lot of blame on the coaching staff. I mean, I don't want to be the guy that always says, the coaches calling the players are doing the wrong things. But you really got to play to guys' strengths. And I feel like they really did that today, which is why I have a hard time giving them so much blame for today's loss. But truthfully, I have a little bit of an issue with the offensive line. Like Charlie.
I thought they did better today.
In the run game. They looked good in the run game. 200 rushing yards. But it's obvious that Charlie's not totally comfortable. So whether that's a Charlie thing, whether it's the offensive line thing. Also, what was up with the snaps? Like there were several snaps that were all over. So I have an issue there. But I'm with Coach Rand to put the focus where the focus needs to be and get better. Well, I don't know if that means anything.
That reminds me of like a Mike Singletary. That's very much like a Mike.
We thought they were.
That was poetic, but what does it mean exactly?
That was Dennis Green actually.
We've got Steven from Virginia. Steven, you're back on Sikkim 365 Radio. Steven? Wow, non-existent, just like Baylor's offense when it mattered. Call back in if you want to, Steven. John, we just lost you, John. Call back in again, John and Steven both. But you know what that means? Those two calls did accidentally drop. That was super accidental. Like, I don't know how that happened, but it does mean
there's no accident.
Prematurely, sooner than we thought. Let's go. Baylor Bigfoot is going to join Sikkim 365 Radio and finally make JD happy. Baylor Bigfoot, you're live on the Muscle Wise postgame show.
Hey guys, Baylor Bigfoot here, Double B's on the phone. Big fan of y'all on your show. Look, I love the analysis.
Yeah, you do.
But you know what I don't love?
Tell
losing. Charlie Brewer lost 2 yards on the quarterback run in the fourth with 4 minutes, and that really solidified it. Another issue is the offensive line. They were good, but not great. No push up front. And that is exactly why we need to replace offensive line graduate assistant James Danielson.
What?
He's the problem.
What?
He is the cancer in this program.
Coming from a mediocre school like Louisiana Tech, how could anyone expect anything good to come from Louisiana?
Baylor Bigfoot.
And another thing.
Baylor Bigfoot.
Stop panning. We want Zeno. It's rude to the back of the head on the depth chart. This is Garrett McGuire and Gary Bohannon.
Hold on.
I mentioned Bo Brewer.
Hold on.
I know Bohannon missed the bus or something, but we have to give him a break. He was ready to go to the game. I think daylight savings time really had an impact on his mental acuity. I don't know how Charlie gets the no start next game. If you ask me, it's time to pull an Old Yeller without the murder and bring in the new quarterback. I'll hang up.
Old Yeller.
Double B's out.
What is happening?
Baylor Bigfoot. Wait,
was that a dream? Did I dream that?
I think
that really happened?
He just called out the offensive line's graduate assistant.
Gary Danielson? Is that his name? Is that what he said his name was?
I don't know. It was something. Jens Danielson.
Jens Danielson.
I've never heard this man before.
Baylor Bigfoot He got in his Garrett McGuire spiel there at the end. But more importantly, on the hot seat, the Baylor offensive line graduate assistant. You know what he's having today, Armstrong?
I am having a very bad day.
And after this loss, you know what he's going to need?
Give me a drink, bartender.
Are there bartenders where Baylor Bigfoot lives? In the Baylor Bigfoot
I don't know.
Woods?
I'm just saying
Do they have
that
bars
look,
there?
people are now calling for the head of the offensive line's graduate assistant. So something's obviously not going right at Baylor. This football program, what does that say about your team?
I can't believe we're having this conversation right now on the air. I had no idea what to say about that, but Baylor Bigfoot, please keep calling in. Also, let's get Baylor Bigfoot on the show at some point. Like, actually physically in studio,
but
if
just
he would
in
fit
a
through the
hoodie
doors.
and something over. I don't want to know what he looks like.
He's probably enormous. He's probably 10 foot, 12 foot, 900 pounds, hairy.
Can't miss him. If you guys not seen the Bigfoot walking around Waco, that's Baylor Bigfoot. Come
Golly,
on.
Bro.
Steven from Virginia. Steven, you're on with Sigum 365 Radio. We're going to take this call into a break. Steven, what you got?
Well, first, can you play Stephen A. Smith for me one more time?
Yeah, we can. I'd love that.
I am having a very bad day.
Thank you for that, Steven.
Like, I just want to say that I think the worst part about all of this is, like, for the last 4 or 5 weeks in a row, all week I've been telling myself, look, you've been a Baylor fan your whole life. You were at the UNLV game. It's just kind of like this sometimes. And then we get to Saturday, and I'm like, I'm not going to care because I feel like they're probably going to lose anyway.
Yep.
And then we get into it, and they do this.
They hook you in.
And they've done this for like a few weeks again.
It's like a bad soap
what
opera.
It's called is an incomplete football game. They only play 3 quarters. They only play 4 quarters because you see that they're up on these teams or that they outscore teams in the second half when they're actually rolling. So, like, as much as they're bad, you see how they could be good. And the difference between this and, like, 1-11 is, like, when we were 1-11 in 2017, the only game that was like that was that Oklahoma game.
Yeah, that was crazy.
We were really
right there.
Was encouraging. We can't do this every single week where we lose like this.
A lot of. Hey, you're getting your money's worth though for your ticket. Let's say that.
Get blown out next week.
Well, Steven, we're getting blown out the next 3 weeks. Somebody
so?
can't accept that.
Dude,
but we're getting blown out against Kansas State, Oklahoma, and Oklahoma State.
We're getting blown
because they're
out?
significantly better than Baylor.
They're getting blown out, you think?
We're going to get blown out against Bye.
No, they're going to. You know what? Bye's not going to be very fun.
They're not going to get blown out, but they're not.
You don't
I mean,
think
they won't be
could jump
favored.
out
They won't be
against
favored.
Kansas State on senior day.
Maybe,
like
Steven, maybe.
halftime?
I have a hard time believing they'll get blown out because of their
23-12
personnel.
leading going into the fourth quarter.
That's exactly what's going to happen, and then they're going to lose.
Yeah, like it may not be
And then
the
they're gonna
most
lose.
enjoyable game.
At this rate,
And
yes.
Bad for my health, and I bleed green and gold as much as anybody, and I know T-Rex does too. So when I hear T-Rex hurt, I know that it's bad.
Oh my
When
God.
the dyno's down, it's
Steven,
never good.
thank you so much for your call. As a Baylor student, you mentioned that earlier. I am a Baylor student,
I
and
did
I
say
want
that. I
Baylor
did
to
say
win
that.
so very badly. I love when Baylor wins. It's fun for me. It's fun for all of us. But right now, I got to look myself in the mirror and say, don't get your hopes up, buddy, because you're just going to be sad in the end. Somebody quote this and tweet it. Baylor football this season is like a bad soap opera. The beginning of the plot is spectacular, but then the writers have no ending.
Huh? Or a sad ending, which
Just
it's been
they
the
just
last few
forget
weeks.
to write the ending. It's like, this was going well, but it's we don't know what to do with it now.
And I hate the phrase "lost year" because I hate the phrase "lost year," so I'm not going to use it. But it's going to take it's going to take a lot longer than I think people were expecting for Dave Aranda to get his guys in, get his system in. I'm done using the COVID excuse because you mentioned it during the game.
Yeah,
everyone's playing with COVID.
That's
okay,
true.
so it's your 6th game next week. Or that was your 6th game. What am I saying? It was your 6th game. COVID is no longer a viable excuse. So it's going to take longer than people want to, but I still believe that Dave Aranda is going to get his guys in, get his system in. It just won't be this year, unfortunately.
You know what? Stephen from Virginia had us play the Stephen A. Smith sound clip. You know what else Stephen from Virginia probably needs?
Give me a drink,
I hope he's 20. I hope they're all 21.
We've got T-Rex on the line again. T-Rex, hold tight with us, though, man. We got to take this thing to a break. Otherwise, we'd have you on right here, right now. I'd love to do it, but we're going to talk to you coming up after this. Again, this is the Muscle Wise post-game show. It's the Topo Chico right now. Coming up after the break, it's going to be the LaCroix. You're listening to Sikkim 365 Radio.
Have you tried a do-it-yourself program to lose weight? You may not know that in a typical do-it-yourself program, a quarter of the weight you lose is due to muscle breakdown and loss. With COVID harming obese and overweight patients, being at ideal body weight is more important now than ever. Over 30 physicians in Central Texas, tired of seeing patients fail at losing weight themselves, opened Muscle-Wise Nutrition. This is a coach-managed weight loss program that targets fat and spares muscle. The 4 Muscle-Wise locations have taken off over 19,000 pounds from Texas dieters in the last few years. The combination of coaching and weekly body composition analysis to target the fat loss are the keys to success. The coaches teach you how to eat and live a healthy lifestyle. Email Sikkim365@musclewisenutrition.com today, and the coaches will contact you about their free educational seminars. Do not wait. Email today and start MuscleWise at Sikkim365@musclewisenutrition.com.
Born in Waco, Brotherwell Brewing exists to serve the Central Texas community with locally crafted beer of the highest quality. They want to bring Central Texas closer to the brewing experience so everyone can enjoy well-made beer as much as they do. For 2.5 years, they've been bringing high-quality beer to Central Texas at their location on Bridge Street in East Waco. And this football season, you need to stop by on game day for curbside pickup or stop by their tent next to Sikkim 365 at Brazos Parking for your pregame refreshment. Brotherwell Brewing believes in community and bringing people together to enjoy products made in their community. So for your game day, whether it's a tailgate or at home, stop by Brotherwell Brewing for high-quality craft beer made right here in Central Texas, 400 East Bridge Street, and check them out online at brotherwell.com.
With more than 160,000 alumni worldwide and counting, the Baylor family is growing. And through the university's expanded Baylor alumni program, the family is growing closer. With hundreds of local volunteers planning events in cities and towns around the country, you can gather with fellow Bears no matter where you are. So, get connected, get something started, get involved, and make plans to get together with Baylor alumni. Visit us at baylor.edu/alumni.
Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the team physicians for Baylor Athletics, specializing in diagnosis and treatment of any and all sport-related injuries, celebrating over a decade of service to Central Texas. They tackle all surgical and non-surgical problems that arise from an active lifestyle. Trust the doctors that Baylor trust, and when injuries sideline you, don't wait for Monday. Join us at 8:30 on Saturday mornings for a post-game injury evaluation clinic. Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. We get you back in the game.
In Texas, there's pea-size hail and baseball-size hail. Guess which one hit our house? We didn't even know where to begin, but we called our Texas Farm Bureau insurance agent, and he was so reassuring. He knew exactly what to do to get our house back into shape and our lives back to normal. Now, we're even more thankful for the roof over our heads.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Welcome back to Sikkim 365 Radio. Here's Drake Toll and J.D. Pickell.
Welcome back into the Petty Clinic Low T studio. Again, you're with myself, Drake Toll, alongside former Baylor football player J.D. Pickell on Central Texas' #1 caller-driven digital radio hour, the Muscle-Wise Baylor postgame show on Sikkim 365 Radio. Call or text 254-339-1122. Armstrong, do you have queued up what we were going to play in the case of a Baylor victory? Do we have that?
I can cue it up very quickly.
Oh, thank you.
Best in the
In the meantime, we're going to take this to T-Rex, who waited through the break. Thank you again, T-Rex, whose name I don't know, whose real name I don't know. T-Rex, you're on with Sikkim 365 Radio again.
Hey, guys. Thank you for taking my call again.
I love it.
I got back to my hotel and it's changing, so I kind of calmed down a little bit. You know what I mean? Beautiful. So I want to kind of clarify my last comment about Aranda, whatever you want to say. I like the guy. I'm not calling for his head by any means.
Thank you.
I just think he needs to turn it up a notch. That's what I mean by that. So
Emotion.
Obviously,
show some fire, you know?
You got 1 year. So, he's got more than a year, right? Like we're not, these other schools who give a guy 2 years max and then we want to fire him and then we just create a perpetual wheel going down a hill into a pool of alcohol and razor blades. So I just wanted to make that clear. The other thing that I wanted to say, I appreciate everything y'all are doing and giving us all fans a place to vent, when we're having tough times like this.
Thank you.
We get to vent. JD had a tangent earlier.
I cried during break.
Yeah. So, my brother texted me and told me that I don't want to call him out on this, but I kind of agree with him, and I need somebody to talk me off the ledge. He told me that my money should not be spent. Basically, this team doesn't deserve me to be in Norman and to go down to the Kansas State game because I've been to every game so far. Hell, I even flew to West Virginia hoping I could maybe sneak in. Obviously, that didn't work out. It's not a money thing for me, but it is very taxing on everybody, all us fans who travel. You know, I do it because I love the team, but man, like if this is an investment, I better see something soon because I'm about to put it all in cash and let the market do its thing, if you know what I mean. Because I feel like it is just if Baylor football was a stock, it is on a negative decline right now. And I'm gonna say I'll be there for the Kansas State because I will be no matter what. But I'm looking at ticket prices for Norman. I got to buy more than one ticket because of the COVID thing. Please, somebody tell me it's worth me spending $400 to go to that game. Yeah. Just somebody tell me that. And I want to support this team. I want to be there. And I know a lot of other fans won't be there because of COVID and other things, the end of the year, all that. But, like, make it – like, I just want Baylor football to make it worth it, man. I love Baylor for 29 years of my life, but, like, it's still money, right? So, like, I don't have a kid on the team. I want to be there. And I want to support them. I want to do everything I can. But, like, just make it worth it, guys. Just, like, be competitive. And when I say competitive, I don't mean losing like we did today. That wasn't competitive. The scoreboard doesn't say all. So, tape doesn't lie, though, what scoreboard does. So, just maybe talk me off the ledge. I'm going to hang up and listen. Again, I appreciate everything y'all are doing. And Sick 'em Bears for life.
Well, first of all, thank you.
T-Rex, that was deep.
I will say this about whether or not he's deciding on going to the Norman game. So, I know – you're in the camp, they're probably not going to win. I'm probably in the camp, hey, they won't be favored. But let's think about this. If you're T-Rex and for how diehard of a Baylor fan he is, if for whatever reason Baylor does win that game and he's not there and you're T-Rex, are you not just beside yourself? And then switching gears here, around to the leadership thing, the stoic leadership thing plays really well when you're winning. It's like, wow, he's just unfazed, unflappable, doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low. But when you're losing and you're stoic, it's like, wow, weak leader, won't show emotion, is scared to talk. Like it's just context is everything here. So he would be the same if they were winning. I want to make sure that's clear. So I understand the frustration, but Aranda is who Aranda is, and T-Rex go to Norman. I would love that.
Dave Aranda's not Matt Rule.
He's not Matt Rule.
From a personality standpoint, Dave Aranda's not Matt Rule. We can't ask him to be Matt Rule. Dave Aranda is who he is. I want to see a little bit more fire, and I think we've seen that at different points in time. But I want to see hey, guys, we got to stand up right here, last defensive possession, and make a stop, or we're going to lose this football game. Get in the player's face, get in the huddle, and just really give it to them. And I don't know if we've seen a lot of that yet. Let me say this, T-Rex. If you do not make the trip later this season to Oklahoma, to go to Norman, I can tell you this right now. The bar scene in Norman, I'm not putting my money in that stock. Like, that's going to take a hit, man. Like, the presence that you bring on the road that represents the whole of Baylor fans, the passion of Baylor fans is noticed everywhere that you go. Yep. And if you lose that, if you lose the passion of the heart of a fan base that's been behind a team that's been historically not very good at football, then you have nothing. It's that passion, that sense of community, that love for the game, win or lose, that really makes what Baylor is so great. And Armstrong, there can be only one, after that call. And again, the bar scene in Norman that's depending on T-Rex.
Give me a drink, bartender.
Yes!
They will go under effectively.
And I'm sure Lubbock they're feeling all right tonight. We have UT Mike on the line. UT Mike, talk to us.
UT Mike! What's up, guys?
You intro yourself with your own tagline. Right?
Yeah, it says YouTube Mike on our screens. That makes it a lot funnier. All right, UT Mike, talk to us. How did UT do today?
UT was awesome. I mean, they did better than Baylor did today, but let's don't talk about that. Listen, I want to start with this. JD, I want to apologize. I got on you last week a little bit, and it's been bugging me all week, so I want to apologize.
Sure.
Guys, y'all have a great show.
Wait a second. No, wait a second. How did UT do today?
Wait, is he coming after us? Or
Hold on.
I can't tell if this is genuine.
How did UT do today?
They tied. Tie game.
Okay, keep going with your tangent. UT was on a bye, for those that don't know, and I don't think UT Mike knows either.
Yes, it was a tie game. It was 0-0. Yeah, that's right. They had a bye.
Oh,
Drake,
All right,
listen,
you heard it
said
here
a while
first.
ago
UT is
that,
5-2-1,
Dave
first time in
Aranda
college
is
football
not-
in 50
Dave
years.
Aranda is not. Go ahead. Go ahead. This is your show. Go ahead.
No, UT Mike.
No, UT Mike. I think this is your show. This is Baylor's show.
It's you.
So you
It's
have
your
infiltrated
turn.
it.
Talk.
Hey, is there any way that maybe we could change the show to Hook'em 365 and you guys to come over and do radio for Texas? That'd be awesome.
I don't think UT Mike subscribed to Longhorn Network. Is that what he's admitting on live radio?
No, I think you guys should trash what you've got going because it's going down the tube.
Oh.
Come over to a winning team.
Peculiar. I don't think analytics would say that.
The screen name says YouTube, Mike. Do you own YouTube? We could work for YouTube.
Mike, did you start YouTube?
Were you in that movie, Social Network?
Listen.
You have my undivided
What's the point?
Out.
Yep.
Gosh.
Last week he said one more point and then said UT Mike,
I
which
feel
is
like
which
we
is not a
defended
point.
that better than we like. I don't know what he was coming to the table with on a UT bye week, but he didn't. He wasn't able to bring it to the table.
I kind of thought he was saying sorry for a second, so I was like,
He was. I
ready
think he was
to
being very
listen to him.
apologetic and saying that the show was nice, but usually those kind of people are going to say, hey, I love the show so much, but also Baylor sucks.
Yeah, the ties are cut, UT Mike.
It was coming.
The ties
The
are
ties
cut.
are
the gloves,
cut.
look at these gloves. They're off. Gloves are off, UT Mike.
I don't think he had gloves to start with.
Not even.
But you wouldn't know because Armstrong's going to edit some gloves in there. For those at home, if Baylor would have won this game against Texas Tech, you would have heard this.
Everybody stay calm. Stay calm.
One more time, Armstrong.
Everybody stay calm. Stay calm.
Because it would have been, hey, we're going to Kansas State. We're going to win at Kansas State.
100%.
Oklahoma, we're coming for you, Oklahoma. Oklahoma State, Chuba Hubbard's not that great.
Without a
Chuba
doubt.
Hubbard, Mike Gundy, Dave Aranda's got his number. That's what the show would have looked like tonight.
Without a doubt.
But no,
That's where I would be.
In true 2020 Baylor fashion, the Bears fall 24-23. We've got Steven on the line. Steven, you're on Sick'em 365 Radio.
Thanks for taking our calls so many times.
Love it.
I love it. Hold on.
mine.
Armstrong, one more time with the bartender.
Give me a drink, bartender.
Thank you.
No, it's just been a very bad day. It's been a very
Hit it, Armstrong.
very bad day.
I am having a very bad day.
Steven loves it. What you got, Steve?
So where I'm at is that who's going to be the quarterback next year? Because we can't do this next year.
Charlie Brewer.
Dude, if he comes back, it's Chuck, baby.
Is he? Have we made that decision already?
No,
I don't make
no
any
one
money when I make
has,
that decision.
but it's
so.
I don't
possible.
want to see Charlie, but like if it's not Charlie, then who is it?
Kyron
And,
Drones.
Kind of like something's got to change because this is just like maybe I'm just asking for someone to be figurehead fired. I don't know, and I've never been a person for that to ask for people's jobs because like I don't pay for that, but. I don't know, man. Can we do this next year, too? Because this is legitimately a top 25 defense.
Oh,
Legitimate.
top 15.
Yeah.
This is one of the best defenses in the country for what they're working with, especially.
And what I'm saying, and what's really frustrating is with the top 15 defense, which is pretty much what they had last year,
right?
They still are losing every game. And the thing that
except for Kansas.
You can only put the blame on one thing, and the thing is that when people were looking before the season, people said, well, Baylor will be good on offense, and they'll be building on defense because they lost all their guys on defense.
Yep.
And that is not true.
Yeah.
So something's got to be different, and I'm not asking for it to be Charlie.
Yeah.
Because I'm die hard with Charlie. Charlie is Mr. Baylor.
He is. I like that, Steven.
Because they got to do different.
So, Steven, I'm going to take that. Thank you again for calling. I'm going to take that and pitch it to you, JD. We got about 5 minutes left on the show. We've already gone over, but there's so much to go over, so many calls coming in. Thank you so much for your support of this show. For me, Dave Aranda comes in, takes a defense that was supposed to be bottom 15 in the country and turns it into a top 15 defense in the country. Yep. Insane.
Yep. With two returning starters. Two returning starters.
Yep. Insane turnaround. Fedora comes in to what's supposed to be a top 25 offense, and it's a bottom 25 offense. What does that say about Dave Aranda on the defensive side and Larry Fedora on the offensive side? And maybe that question's just rhetorical.
And there was so much hype, too, around the staff with George Munoz, Larry Fedora. It's like when you do a group project with someone, and you have a partner who's not quite as good, and you know they're not quite as good, so you give them the easier part of the project and say, okay, I'll do this part. You literally just write your name and do the summary. That's what Larry Fedora had. Larry Fedora had the summary for this team. He just had to put the guys that are already on this team in position to succeed, and he's effectively not done that. One more point I want to make about Charlie Brewer, because I think this has been something that we've talked about quite a bit. If you bench Charlie Brewer, if you break up with Charlie Brewer before the end of the year, that is not a give. That's not a, hey, let's just be friends. Let's take space, break up, and we'll do this again next year. That is, hey, let's see other people. Because if I'm Charlie Brewer and I get benched, I have another year of eligibility, so I'm going somewhere else next year, and that's for sure. So if you want to break up with Charlie Brewer, you better be 1,000,000% sure that's a permanent tie you're cutting.
I don't know. It sounds like Charlie Brewer could stay as the offensive line grad assistant next year.
Might be an opening.
We got hot seats going all the way around. We'll hit a couple of these texts on the Riverbend Liquor and Wine text line and then wrap this thing up. This one here from Gunny says, Baylor could be Penn State, and I like it. I'm not a fan of moral victories, but when you compare the program to say, hey, we could be other fan bases, I would not want to be Penn State right now.
Yeah,
Cheers to Gunny.
That'd be tough.
Cheers to Gunny.
I don't know how to elaborate on that, but yeah, I guess thank goodness the expectations weren't higher. We weren't ranked in the top 10,
sure.
and we beat Kansas.
You know what? I do have a message, though, for Penn State fans out there. Armstrong, what was the thing we were going to play if we won?
Everybody stay calm. Stay calm.
That's my message to Penn State fans. For all of those listening. We have last time Baylor lost to a team this pathetic. When was the last time?
This pathetic.
A team when the last time they lost to a team that was this pathetic as Tech.
I mean, they did lose to Liberty at one point.
Yeah, they did lose to Liberty. The UNLV game. Look at you've got maybe like the TCU game in that 6-6 year. Just felt like, man, you really wanted to win that game. TCU wasn't pathetic, but it was I
think Liberty had just gone FBS, which hurts.
That was not good. This one, how does a team that was 11-3? Was ranked as high as 7, and in the playoff discussion last year, go to a 1-win season. It's not Charlie, not COVID, not injuries, not graduation. Coaching is the reason. The staff was handed a quality program and managed to run it into the ground. Whoa. Nothing's been run into the ground yet. Hold on a second. You can't say not COVID either, because the COVID excuse at this point, yes, it's out the window. Yeah. But this isn't running a program into the ground. Look across college football. Who's really good right now? About 3 teams. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay? It's not like Baylor's just ostracized.
Yeah.
Nobody's running this thing into the ground. A couple more of these. Bright spot today is number 13. Can't put watered down gas into the Maxima and expect it to purr. That's my favorite. That's it. I'm going to tweet that after the show's over.
And I love they fed him the ball, too. I've been saying it for weeks now. Please, Baylor football, just get a running back into rhythm. Quaylon Jones, 21 carries, 4 yards a pop. That is a rhythm. So if they can continue with that and give the offense a little more life, that takes pressure off Charlie. Again, it wasn't a winning formula today. Will it be a winning formula going forward? You need more from the pass game to allow that to happen, but I'm very encouraged by Quaylon Jones' performance today.
Oh, man. Last one here. Pierce here, Baylor alumnus, still have problems getting the play call in, horrendous clock management. Charlie Brewer is not getting the job done, and you can't blame the offensive line today. Even the play calling was just okay. Which I think he's giving credit to Larry Fedora there. So I'm not sure where you're putting blame with that one, but I want to take that right there, which is just a whole conglomerate of negativity, and say this, Baylor fans. There are 3 games left in the season. Baylor will not be favored in any of the 3. They will be big-time dogs in all 3, but the year's not over. You still strap it up for a reason, and they've got a shot. I'm not going to have Baylor predicted in my pregame picks. I'm not going to bet the house on them, but at the same time, I feel like you're right. I wouldn't be surprised if Baylor snuck up on Kansas State in a couple of weeks, got some stuff together, and said, hey, let's bring some momentum into next season, because honestly, the only thing you have left to play for this season is next season in a roundabout way.
Yep, there's still something under the engine. Baylor Nation, stay a little bit patient. Make the most of these last 3 games. T-Rex, I'm hoping and praying you're going to Norman, brother. Hope you get someone to go with you to Norman. We, however, will be busy post-Norman, but we're hoping someone jumps on that flight with you. It's going to take some time. Be patient. It'll happen.
For Drake Toll, former Baylor football player J.D. Piquel, Armstrong Sims, and Brian Etheridge, this has been the Muscle-Wise postgame show on Sikkim 365 Radio. Baylor falls to 1-5 after dropping a game in Lubbock to Texas Tech, 24-23. But you live to play another day. And Baylor will be back in action in 2 weeks against Kansas State, and we'll have the post-game show on that one as well. Thanks again for watching. This has been the post-game show on Sikkim 365 Radio.
Sikkim 365 radio postgame show is also brought to you by...
Here comes a blitz. Brewer well protected. One-on-one in the end zone. R.J. Sneed. He's got it for a Baylor touchdown.